Hey there, what's up, everybody? It's Dr. Shazetta. I hope you guys are doing well. It is Monday morning, so happy Monday to you if you are watching this on Monday morning. I actually woke up feeling pretty amazing this morning, just kind of fully rested and full of energy. Full of energy might be a bit of an overstatement, but I felt good this morning when I got up in so many areas, and I was able to get up and get my Monday meal prep done early in the day. Normally, I kind of spread it out throughout the day, but I was able to get quite a bit of it done this morning, even before Alex got off to school today. So that was like a huge accomplishment for me. Was able to grill some chicken and get some Brussels sprouts roasted. They are so good. Honey, sriracha, garlic. Oh my God. And I'm not even a big Brussels sprouts eater, but these are, yeah, they bought that life. So anyway, though, I'm outside in the sun, as you can see, which I'm really excited about. We've had a lot of rain and just kind of chilly weather the last probably week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. And so I haven't been out on my bike. I haven't because of the rain consistently, I haven't been able to be out on my bike, and because it's been cold, I haven't come out in the mornings to sit in the sun. And so when I looked out in the backyard today and saw the sun, it's situated really beautifully on my patio. I got some email done and then plugged in my cell phone because it was about to die, and grabbed a couple of books that I'm reading and decided to come out and spend kind of my lunch breakish time just out basking in the sun, letting my body warm through, soaking up the vitamin D. I've really come to notice just how much of a difference just the natural soaking in of the sun makes in feeling my body being completely warmed through the sun, as opposed to, heat or stacking on blankets. I've really come to enjoy and to understand like how much my body really benefits from this. Excuse the FedEx truck that just drove past, if you guys heard that noise. But and so being able to sit out in the sun today is really a treat for me. I am reading several books, well, a few books, but I've been able to pick up books here lately, which, if you know anything about me, and I may not have shared it fully, but I've really navigated really struggling to read over the last probably 6 or 7 months, as I've been navigating grief. Reading and words on paper and on screens have really been a heavy lift for me. And so while I'm not able to read for long periods of time yet, the ability to read a passage of scripture, or the ability to pick up a book and read more than a few pages at a time, has been, again, a real treat. And so I'm excited. So I picked up this one. This is called African American Herbalism. If you're on my Instagram, then you saw that I shared this one. And then there's another one called Spiritual Herbalism that I'm reading. I'm really interested and excited about learning more about how and what God has given to us on the earth to help heal ourselves and keep ourselves well. And again, as I'm learning more and spending more time outside and in nature, and really taking in the medicine that is provided to us, I've just noticed such a big difference in my day-to-day life and in my outlook, and really in my overall health. And I'm really grateful for that. The other book that I'm reading is one that I've picked up quite a bit over time since I've had it. It was a book I picked up at one of the little tiny free libraries that you drive past sometimes. And it's kind of dense, but also some of the stories in it are really good. And so I felt kind of drawn to it. Hey, there's a white butterfly. You guys can't see it. I felt really drawn to it this morning for whatever reason, so I pulled it back off of the shelf. And this is called Traveling While Black, Essays Inspired by a Life on the Move. And this is by Nanjala Nyobola. I believe I've pronounced her name correctly. And when I picked it up, the story that I was drawn to is one about the DR Congo, which many of you will know that I traveled to DR Congo for the first time last year, and a very hard place to be. And the experience was really emotionally draining, but also I left with a heart for that space. And I know that there is more work to be done there over time, even as the conflict has kind of multiplied or been brought to the forefront more in this last few months. So I started that story, and I'm going to finish that story while I'm on my break today. But before I do that, I just wanted to chat with you all about seeking out, as Mama Katie Cannon says to us, Katie Genevan Cannon, the work that our souls must have. I am, as I've settled into kind of doing this centering work for myself, over this last few months, understanding and really admitting to myself that I have done a poor job of caring for myself and tending to my own soul, even as I've tended to the souls and to the self of others. And so getting to know myself as being compassionate toward myself has been a really, really heavy lift. One, because it's not something that I'm accustomed to, but also because there's been this immense amount of realization of how cruel, in some regards, I've been to myself, unintentionally and unknowingly, that so many times I have forfeited my own thoughts and dreams and ideas because I thought or believed that they were inferior to the thoughts and dreams and ideas of others. I don't have regrets about how much of myself I have, or how much of my time I've spent in service to others. Service is still very much a part of who I am. Giving is still very much a part of who I am. But I do regret never having found or struck the balance of at least extending to myself the same measure of service and grace and compassion that I've extended to others. I have spent a lot of time over the 40 years of my life, and at least 35 of those 40, judging myself for being different, ridiculing myself for being peculiar. And I've allowed other folks to place their own demands on me and on my gifts and on my creativity. I've allowed other folks to demonize might be a strong word, but vilify me or otherwise make me feel guilty or bad whenever I would start a thing and then shift to another thing, because that was really where the wind, or where, now I understand to be where spirit was blowing me. There have been times when I've allowed the fullness of my gifts, right, all of them, to be exploited, and not toward the intention of anyone else, or not because anyone else intended to do so, but because I never learned how to say no. I never paused to ask the question of myself, is this healthy for me right now? Even when I felt resistance in my very body, I still felt as if my extending myself and overextending myself was my reasonable service and what I was called to. And I think that as I've navigated grief through the loss of others since October, I think that I've also realized that there's a part of me that grieves not knowing me. One of my colleagues asked a question in a group chat that we had the other day about, our dreams, and, are there dreams that never came true that we are grieving or that we're disappointed in? And I sat with the question for a really long time and realized that I couldn't really identify or name dreams for myself, because when I had ideas, or when I had, things that others might consider to be dreams, I allowed those things to be drowned out, or I don't know the word, but drowned out by the expectations of others, that they were overtaken, that my dreams and my desires and my ideas, or my ideas and desires, because I don't think anything ever had the time to settle in to be a dream, because those moments were overtaken, or overshadowed, I should say is the word, by the expectations of others. And the thing is that I don't think anyone in my life has ever intentionally attempted to overshadow or to destroy or to tear down a dream of mine. But expectations have been placed on me, oftentimes, that were well intended, right? No expectation that's been placed on me has not been one that anyone on the outside would look out and say, oh, this is an expectation meant to break you. No, I think that folks have placed expectations on me that in their minds, and perhaps in reality, were meant to make me stronger, or meant to make me better, or meant to prepare me for the world that I would live in or that I now live in. And in so many ways, I'm grateful because I have had the privilege, right, to be exposed to so many things and so many people and to have so many experiences and to achieve, right, things that many folks never would have had the opportunity to achieve. But when I look back over all of it, almost all of it anyway, outside of the beautiful relationships that I've had the opportunity to cultivate, outside of my beautiful boys that have come as a result of it, outside of my husband and our love for each other, there are so many things in my life that I did that were expectations of others that in truth, I don't know if I would ever do again. Not because they were not beneficial in some way, but because they weren't the work that my soul had to have. Things that were great, things that other folks have celebrated. I think about, and sometimes with a measure of guilt, I think about, the educational achievements and the levels of education that I've been blessed to acquire, yet I don't remember enjoying any of it. I talk to people and they are blown away that I'm not blown away, that I have an earned terminal degree from a reputable institution. I'm grateful, but there's really nothing about those achievements that excites me. And I don't know how to say I'm grateful and then not sound ungrateful. Those things enriched me, certainly, in many ways. But also, I think that it's enrichment I could have done without and been less stressed and been less in debt because student loans came with those things. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that's a full sentence. I don't know. But what I am realizing more and more each day is that if I'm quiet enough and if I'm still often enough, that my soul will guide me. And I know that we've placed like a huge amount of emphasis on our spirits, right? Particularly in church. And that our soul, our mind, our will, our feelings, right? That it is the thing that is being saved, right? Whatever your theology is around that. But in so doing and focusing only on my spirit, I have neglected my soul. Because I'm taught, I am a spirit, I have a soul, I live in the body. True, still believe it. But each of them, right? Each of them deserves and requires equal attention, equal care, equal compassion. Otherwise, there's no way we can be fully whole. I long for a day and a time and a space where we invite folks into communities and spaces of compassion and care, unconcerned about the things that are a part of them that are not in agreement with our own values, with our own ethos, with our own practices, with our own understandings, where we can simply extend the same grace to them that God extends to us, and where we can help them seek out and search for and embrace and live into the work their souls must have. I picked up my free write typewriter today to do some journaling because the last week and a half or maybe 2 weeks, I haven't really done any consistent journaling. And kind of by design, when I would get up to just follow the routine, I didn't feel a pull or a call toward writing. I just wanted to rest and to take things in, right? I'm taking things in. I'm learning things. I'm taking things in. I'm spending time, learning how to put together a bike. I'm spending time, right? So it's been an intake, not an output type of couple of weeks. And in doing that, I've given myself space and opportunity for my soul to kind of wander. The hymn says, "My soul looks back and wonders how I made how I got over." Is the old black church song, gospel song. But I've also found that there's value in my allowing my soul to wander. What is the harm, right? In fact, there is something good and something really powerful about allowing our souls to wander, our mind, our will, our emotions, to consider the possibility that what seems insane or asinine to someone else, what seems impossible or foolish to someone else, is actually the work that our souls must have, is actually the work to which we are called, is actually the thing that is going to help turn the world right side up, is actually the thing that's going to help someone else understand and experience God in all of God's greatness and God's godness. Sitting with your soul and allowing your soul to wander and allowing your soul to point you in the direction of what you need in a given moment or in a given season or at a given time or for a given purpose is really, really a powerful concept that I really wish I had known about or I'd understood in greater ways many, many years ago. My mom would always say to me and other grown people about time, right, passing swiftly, and about all of the things I would look back and wished I had slowed down to do and to notice, and people I wish I had slowed down to spend time with. And as I get older and as I have entered into the season and phase of my life where the transition of the elders to ancestral realms is like right in my face, my mom's words certainly ring true as I watch my little boy grow up and realize how much time, right? Not that we lost, because I think we've spent time well with Alex, but how much time I wish I had spent more with Isaac. And how quickly time is passing. But also, I wish I had known in the passing of time. I'm also grieving and mourning, allowing so much time to pass for my own self. That for some things, the window of opportunity may have closed for ideas that I had. But I'm also really, really excited and grateful because I'm having the realization now, while I still have blood running warm in my veins, while I still have, as the seasoned saints will say, the reasonable portion of the activity of my limbs, while I'm right in my mind. And so my commitment is simply that, to let my soul wander, to keep it in check and hold it accountable, but to let my soul wander and let my soul point me in the direction that Holy Spirit would be calling me to, or is calling me to, through my own sense of intuition, through my own sense of insight. Because that's the other thing. If our souls are, quote, saved, even as imperfect as they are, then they come into alignment with Holy Spirit. And so then, if that is the case, if that's our theological understanding, then our thoughts and our desires and our ideas are then spirit breathed and spirit inspired. And who are we not to trust that? At any rate, you guys continue to sit and to listen to my musings and to my thoughts, and I can't begin to express my gratitude and appreciation to you for doing that. You know, all of the YouTube folks say you should script your videos, but I just want to have a conversation. But I hope that you guys will share down in the comments kind of what your thoughts are. What is your soul leading you to? What is the soul your work must what is the work your soul must have? What is the season that you find yourself in now? I really am interested, because I long for people to experience what I am beginning to experience in my life on a day-to-day basis. And it's not perfect. There are still tough days. There are still tears. There are still days when grief and stress and other things don't allow for me to get my body up out of the bed. But more days than not, I am awakening, feeling and knowing that I am here and here for purpose and here for a reason, and that I deserve, and my soul deserves, to lean into all that it sees and all that it desires. I don't want to be a prophet that has lived a life in bondage while preaching freedom and liberation to others. So anyway, if this video has meant anything to you, or if you're interested in kind of continuing to follow along as I have my periodic musings, watch my YouTube shorts as I am taking you all through portions of my day of things that I'm interested in, then certainly I invite you to like and to comment and to subscribe and to hit that notification bell so that you are made aware of when I post a new video. In the meantime, I'll hope back at y'all now. Take good care. I love you.